Hello guys, my name is VinceReviews and welcome to my first ever vlog review. I'm sorry for the very cheap setup, I don't really have the budget. Today, we will be talking about the 2002 film The Count of Monte Cristo, which is directed by Ken Reynolds. Count of Monte Cristo is a film adaptation of the popular and classic novel of Alexandre Dumas with the same name. It is actually not the first adaptation of the novel. The first one was actually in 1936 and there was another one in 1976. But the 2002 iteration is considered to be the best one. I agree that it is the best one yet. I have seen the clips from the older ones, so I assume that the 2002 film is the superior one. The theme of the story of the book and the movie is all about revenge and injustice. The action drama is all about a sailor named Dantes who is falsely accused of treason by his best friend Fernand, who wants Dantes' girlfriend Mercedes for himself. He was prosecuted by a man named Villefort who is very powerful. So, Dantes is imprisoned on the island prison of Chateau d'If for 13 years, where he plots revenge against those who betrayed him, like Fernand, Mercedes, Danglars, and most of all, Villefort. With the help of another prisoner, he escapes the island and proceeds to transform himself into the wealthy Count of Monte Cristo as part of his plan to exact revenge. Let's talk about the structure of the story in the movie. So, for me, I never read the original novel by Alexandre Dumas, but it was said that it is a deconstruction of some sort. So for me, if I am to say it is good, it is a good deconstruction. It was constructed quite nicely, because what is important is that the themes and the symbolisms are shown, and it is shown quite nicely. Like when Edmund managed to escape from Chateau d'If, then he dived on the ocean. It was like rebirth. So I am saying that, the ocean symbolizes rebirth, because after that he became the Count of that Monte Cristo. It is rebirth because before that he was struggling. He was not free. But after he dove to that ocean, he was a free man. He felt freedom that he didn't experience for like 13 years in the prison. Yes, in the prison. He was stuck there for 13 years. That's why the ocean symbolizes rebirth. And also, what is very intriguing with the story and the plot overall is that it deals with the theme of religion, God, and Christianity. Because when Edmund was imprisoned in Chateau d'If, it's like he gave up hope in God. He even wrote, "God will give me justice." But for how many years he was stuck there, it just like disappeared from his mind. But then there was another prisoner he met named Abbe Faria, and he was a priest. I think he was a priest. He taught Edmund everything, like economics, how to read. Yes, Edmund didn't know how to read actually. I forgot to tell you that. He taught him how to fight. He taught him mathematics. It was like he was his father figure or something. And they tried to dig up a hole to escape from Chateau d'If. But then one time they dug through a hole, then suddenly rocks. Rocks fell down and Abe got stuck from the rocks. So it's like after that he died. Then Edmund was kind of sad. Then there was this line from the movie. I think it was the best line in the movie so far. It's like Edmund said that I don't believe in God anymore, and then Abe said, but he believes in you. So that means that Abe symbolizes Christianity and hope, because with him, Edmund believed in God. So now again, let's talk about the characters. First, of course, is Edmund Dantes, our main character. Once was a sailor, but now was falsely accused and imprisoned in Chateau d'If. After he escaped Chateau d'If, he became cynical, he became vengeful, he wanted to take revenge on those who falsely accused him, like Fernand, Villefort, Danglars, and yes, like that. So, as I mentioned, it was his rebirth after he swam through the ocean. So, and he hunted the treasure of Monte Cristo. He became rich, and with that, with that context, that's what I liked about this character. The character development is like up, down, then up, down again, up. Like he rises, then he falls, then he rises again, like that, some sort. Then at first you would think that he's kind of whiny because he wants revenge and like that, but you could relate on the circumstances that he has been through. Think about it, that for 13 years he was imprisoned. Of course he would be vengeful, but in the end he would redeem himself and go back to his older life. This character development is a key part in the story, and without it, I think the story would be dull or be nothing and just be another revenge story, the typical revenge story. So another thing about the story is the economical status of each character. He may be rich or maybe poor. Of course, the poor will always have power. The rich will always have power, have more power than the poor. Unlike our world today is that we treat each other equally. The timeline of this story is that the rich will always be powerful, like Villefort. He took advantage of his power and his fame, his fortune, so that he could be safe, and while poor old Dante suffered 13 years in Chateau d'If. And also, when Dante was still a poor sailor, he wasn't really given enough respect by other people. But when he became the Count of Monte Cristo, people begin to respect him. Like Villefort. Like he had more slaves or something. And people begin to notice him more than he was before. So there's another major character, which is Fernand. To tell you this, this is actually my favorite character. Not because I really like him, but he is just so hateable as a villain because of his acts of betrayal against Edmund. Is, I don't know, this dynamic just works. To the next character we're going to talk about, which is Mercedes, the love interest of Edmond Dantes. So this character is like I actually have a bit of crush on her. She was kind of beautiful. The actress that played her, was beautiful, of course. Then, ugh, to tell you something, the timeline that is based on this movie is that when women are very dependent on men, unlike today that everyone and any gender is independent. So women are very dependent on men. Like, women will be rich if their husband is rich. Like Mercedes. Mercedes was rich because of Fernand becoming rich. But don't get me wrong, Mercedes is a strong woman, but she is not the Wonder Woman type of strong. Like, her strength comes from her pure heart. Like she is able to speak what she wants to speak. Well, right after Edmund came back, she was able to speak what is the truth. So that's it. I don't really know how to talk about this character because I am more intrigued in the male characters in this story, but still a great character, but still needs more character development. Next are the minor characters, which is Villefort, who is kind of a major character, but for me he's kind of part of the minor characters. I know he is a big part of the story, but he seems kind of average to me. I mean, I think an origin story couldn't hurt, but there was nothing redeemable about this villain. He was just bad. He was selfish. Well, of course, that is a villain, but unlike Fernand, that he was hateable, that I like him, while Villefort is hateable, but he's meh. Movie but itself. Again, I always say this, it's really good. Actually, a very gratifying revenge story. It's one of the best revenge movies I have ever seen, actually, because it's not typical. Each character has reasonable motives. Great story. Of course, it's 2 hours long, but kind of missing something, like maybe an origin story for Villefort, or maybe more character depth for the son of Edmund. Yes, I forgot to talk about him. So overall, 100% I recommend you to watch this film, and maybe I also recommend you to read the book. And that's all. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more vlog reviews like this. Thank you and good night.